Right now at 11, uncertainty for more than 40 million Americans as two judges weigh in, followed by President Trump when it comes to keeping food benefits flowing. Plus,
we are determined because we are so angry.
How neighbors and businesses are showing solidarity with those struggling to put food on the table. And how soon a federal judge could rule on whether to permanently stop the president from sending troops to Portland. But first, to breaking news in southeast Portland, where a 13-year-old boy is in the hospital with serious injuries, authorities say, after he was hit by a car. Police say the teenager was wearing a Halloween costume when he was struck by a vehicle just before 8 at Southeast Hawthorne and 22nd. His family was with him at the time, officers say, and went to the hospital with him. Police say the driver remained at the scene and cooperated and was not arrested or cited. They were later released, and Hawthorne has now reopened. Authorities remind everyone out tonight to slow down, to watch for cars, bikes, and pedestrians, and do not assume others can see you. Some very good advice, Matt, on this Halloween night with the rain still coming down.
Yeah, absolutely, David. It's exactly the kind of thing we've been warning people about every Halloween, but especially when it's raining like this. Just take extra time, be careful. And it goes for pedestrians too, especially if you're, maybe you're not trick-or-treating, but you're dressed in dark clothing. Make sure that the drivers can see you. All right, Portland and Vancouver is still raining right now. Vancouver, Springs at the waterfront, 51 degrees, and light rain falling. Salem, on the other hand, you've had a good night. It's been dry. It's still dry. I don't think any rain has fallen in Salem. It got super close. Looks like it's been raining there, but no. And you go to the north up by 5, it's been raining harder in southwest Washington and, of course, at the Oregon coast. But once again, we look at Salem, and the rain got right on your doorstep, kind of skipped over, so maybe a few sprinkles. But so far, nothing measurable there. Portland, though, 0.3 of an inch, a little bit more than that downtown, a lot more than that out of the Oregon coast. And again, Salem not reporting any measurable rain, so it's just that close of a call. Now, as we go in the morning hours tomorrow, it'll be raining. It's going to rain hard overnight and right up till about noon. Then it should shut down around between noon and 2 p.m. So again, heavy rain after midnight into the early morning hours. We'll have a soaker on the way, but partly sunny and dry for Sunday, so things will be looking up at least for a couple of days. We'll talk about what comes next after that, David, in a bit. Back to you.
Oh, thanks, Matt. See you in a few. Well, now to the government shutdown and the looming cutoff less than an hour out for SNAP benefits for some 42 million people across the country. And while 2 federal judges ruled earlier today the Trump administration must use contingency or emergency funds to keep benefits going into November, tonight, there is new uncertainty, and here is why. President Trump weighed in on social media tonight, saying the government will, in fact, comply if it gets more, quote, clarity from the court. And he indicated that states would be slow in distributing said funds. Let's bring in Alma McCarty in the newsroom. Alma, all that uncertainty and potential delays prompting lots of folks here to speak up and help out.
Yeah, David, some 750,000 Oregonians receive monthly SNAP benefits distributed between the 1st and the 9th of the month. And right now, it's still unclear when those funds could be renewed.
Every Friday for months.
We are determined because we are so angry.
A couple dozen protesters, mainly seniors, line a busy street in Beaverton, sounding off with flags and signs.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
We're seeing a lot of support, and I think it's just because people are starting to freak out.
Their latest concern, the suspension of SNAP benefits.
757,000 Oregonians are going to lose their food stamps if this happens.
Despite orders from 2 federal judges compelling the federal government to use emergency reserve money to fund the program, some say any lapse in benefits is too long.
It's going to take a while to load everyone's cards because I never thought this would happen, so the SNAP cards have not been preloaded yet. So it may take a week or two. So people are going to be without stuff for a couple of weeks.
It is a lifeline, sure.
Linda Duran Mills recalls when that was the case for her.
When I was in my 20s and I had kids, I was on SNAP for a little bit, and I had WIC for like less than a year. There was no way for me to pay for my rent and babysitting and food on what I was making.
All week, community members and businesses have joined area food banks, providing extra food, offering free meals, raising money, and more, all to help feed those set to lose their SNAP benefits November 1st.
A lot of things I can't control, but I can go grocery shopping for families.
We're all closer to poverty than we're not. And so I think this is something where, it's important to come together and to support people who are struggling, and SNAP is a big part of that.
Now, the state says any unused benefits on EBT cards from October, for example, will still remain available. David?
Alma McCarty in the newsroom. Alma, appreciate the update there. By the way, a growing list of businesses have stepped up to donate, fundraise, and even give out free meals, as Alma mentioned. We made it easy to figure this out. Just text the word SNAP to 503-226-5088, and we will text you back with that growing list. Developing tonight, a decision over whether the president can deploy National Guard troops to Portland is once again in the hands of a federal judge. Both the state of Oregon and the Trump administration made their closing arguments this afternoon after a high-stakes 3-day trial. The state seeking an injunction permanently barring troop deployment. The question Judge Karen Immergut will have to answer: does the president have the authority, given the law, the facts, and the evidence, to send troops to protect federal facilities?
Fundamental argument is that this is an excess of presidential power.
The lawyers for the federal government say it is anything but, and the president must be given wide deference. The judge says she plans to rule before the end of Sunday. That's when her temporary order blocking troops is set to expire. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups, on leave because of criminal charges, is now set to appear in federal court in New York on Thursday, and he has a new lawyer. He is Mark Mukasey, a prominent defense attorney who previously represented Donald Trump. Billups is charged with wire fraud conspiracy and money laundering conspiracy, and accused of playing in rigged poker games that were organized by the mafia, allegations he denies. In a second indictment, prosecutors allege a person matching Billups' playing and coaching history told someone about the Blazers' plan to rest players and, quote, tank a game for a better draft pick in 2023, ultimately helping gamblers rake in a profit. Prosecutors say Billups is not charged in that case. 2 of the 3 men charged with attempted murder in the violent assault of a TriMet bus rider have now been ordered held without bail. The incident was October 15th at a bus stop on Southeast Stark and 142nd. Prosecutors say 3 men tried to board a bus, but one of them was smoking. That is when they say a man on the bus confronted the trio for slowing down his ride to work. Video played in court today showed what happened next, with prosecutors describing it as a brutal 3-on-1 beating.
Someone could brush by them, and we saw what happened. 10-minute beatdown. Victim almost lost his life in this matter, Your Honor. There's no reason for anyone else in the community to be at risk.
A detective testified that the victim suffered multiple fractures to his head along with other serious injuries. No update on his condition. And new at 11, it appears former Clackamas County Commissioner Melissa Fireside, who is facing criminal charges, may have left the country. The state Justice Department says Fireside is no longer at her listed address, with indication she may have crossed into Mexico. Fireside was arraigned in March, just months after she took office. She's facing charges that include theft, computer crime, and forgery as part of a financial fraud scheme. Her jury trial is still scheduled for December. Well, we are hearing from the Multnomah County DA this evening after Portland's mayor announced the city plans to resume enforcement of its camping ban starting tomorrow. The city says officers will first use education and outreach to enforce the ban, though if citations are issued or arrests are made, for example, for blocking sidewalks, setting fires, or dumping trash, the case would end up with the DA.
What's going to happen initially is they're going to do citations under this time, place, manner. And those citations will require them to come to court. Our office will review that. And then from there, we're going to look for every opportunity to dismiss or get rid of that case, as long as that person is making efforts and we are connecting them with shelter, getting them off the streets.
Police say at the direction of the mayor, their focus will be education and then citations rather than arrests. Though if we do see people jailed for violations, keep in mind the most they could face would be a week behind bars plus a $100 fine. All right, speaking of city policy, Portland City Councilor Dan Ryan is breaking with his colleagues on the city's parks levy and opposing the proposed 75% increase on next week's ballot, one that would be funded through property taxes. Ryan, who previously served as Parks Commissioner, says the Bureau needs to fix inefficiencies for asking voters for more money. This proposed levy would nearly double the cost for the average homeowner. Critics say it does not allocate nearly enough funds toward maintenance, while Parks leaders warn if the levy fails, service levels could be cut nearly in half. Ballots are due by 8 p.m. on Tuesday.